Week 10 in the books. It didn't go well. Oh my God. All right. Well, it was a big week for everyone. Playoffs are starting to solidify. I'm going to go ahead and get my tragic matchup out of the way. I'm officially in playoff mode now. Every game is a must win. I'm dialed in. Here we go. I dropped to 5-5. Rag went up to 6-4. It came down to the backup quarterbacks that we started. Josh Dobbs went off, looking like prime Cam Newton out there against the Saints defense. Meanwhile, Derek Carr went down with a fucking whatever injury. And then Jameis came in and looked like a fucking prime Brett Favre. So obviously Jameis Winston should be starting. Obviously I shouldn't have started Derek Carr. I didn't really have any other options, but whatever. James Conner was back. Not a good game. It was Kyler's game. Joe Mixon got a touchdown. He looked fine. Mike Evans looked real good. Debo looked good in his return. It was the Saints. Everybody on the Saints did good once Derek Carr went out. Derek Carr went down. Kamara started popping off. Jameis immediately threw the ball to Olave like 5 times in a fucking row. Yeah. Bijan finally got some touches. It's tough. I'm the second highest scorer in this league, and I am officially out of the playoffs and in 8th place. Missing Swift and Tua killed me this week. Those have been my boys all year. And yeah, I'm 5-5 and in 8th place, and I've scored the second most points. I don't get it. I'm in mourning right now. It's playoff mode. Every game is a must-win. Let's rock. All right, this was a real good matchup this week. Briggs needed this to keep his playoffs hopes alive. He moves to 6-4 in a great Monday Night Football comeback. McCosey was looking good, even into the fourth quarter, until Javonte Williams and Josh Allen each got in the end zone back-to-back, and Briggs pulled off the win. Not his best week, but he had his best 3 players were out. Hill, Brown on bye, Jefferson not coming back yet. I mean, McCosey officially is tied for last now. Madison's done. He's hurt. He probably won't come back just because he's so cheeks anyway. Stevenson's also hurt. This man needs a running back bad. 2 of the lower scores here this week. Briggs survives his bye-mageddon and McCosey slips. Not much else more to say. This was a real weird matchup. Battle of the WVU boys. Good move by Clay to take out his defense. They probably weren't going to score -7, but you never know. No point in risking it. Bye week did Sutton real dirty. No Devontae Smith, no Mostert. He needed those guys. Even one of those guys doing better than Roschon Johnson or more here would have gotten him the win. Great Kittle game. Sorry that you started the Washington defense. That one's on you against Geno. He was always going to toast us. We be letting people get career highs weekly. We let Desmond Ridder throw for 300 against us. Tommy DeVito next week is going to toast us, and I'm going to be in the stadium yelling horrible things at Ron Rivera, and hopefully he gets fired. Sutton shouldn't have started this defense. In the end, that cost you the matchup. That one's on you. Good win, Clay. Clay's the lowest scorer. He hasn't even broken 1,000 points yet. The only one in the league to not break 1,000 points. And he's 5-5, and he's in the playoffs, and I'm not. I hate fantasy football. I hate it. Fuck you, Evan Clay. I've officially come around on Team Rob. I think Evan Clay has now become my nemesis, and I'll bump Rob down. I mean, at some point, you just got to respect it. This whack-ass team of Robs is now 7-3, back tied for the lead. Brian Robinson randomly had like 2 50-yard catches, and one of them was a touchdown. I don't know. Everyone on the Lions did well, so Montgomery did well. CeeDee Lamb is putting together one of the best fantasy runs I've ever seen. I think the last 3 weeks he has 41, 28, and 39. Yeah. Oh, my God. He's averaging like fucking 35, 40 in his last 3. I mean, yeah, he's been insane. Brett is in trouble. Great start of Dak. He was like the 3rd highest overall fantasy player this week behind Lamb, behind two of his wide receivers in Keenan Allen. Speaking of Keenan Allen, Brett traded him away for ETN. In the long run, I think that trade will probably work out. But this week, oh man, Keenan Allen dropped 40 and ETN only had 6. Tough week from Brett. I mean, Tony Pollard in the first round is unfortunately, and it's not Brett's fault, everyone was taking him in the first round, but that's going to end up looking like such a bad pick. That man is allergic to the end zone. Dallas scored 49 points. Tony Pollard didn't even sniff the end zone. He hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1. Tony Pollard is a bust, and he's horrible. And now that I'm saying all this, he's probably going to score 8 touchdowns against the Commies on Thanksgiving. Good win, Rob. I'm officially not your biggest hater, just like your number 2 biggest hater. What an upset pick, Ford. What an upset pick. I called my shot. Hayden takes down Ish in a huge game for the league. This matchup brings Hayden off the bottom, gives him his 3rd win, makes him tied with Mason McCosey. This brings Ish back down to 7-3, makes him tied with Cal and Rob. So everyone in the league is between 3-7 and 7-3. Well, we're gearing up for a good finish here. Ish traded for Deshaun Watson midweek. 16 points. Good for you. It's fine. Whatever. Sam Howell's been a beast, at least in fantasy-wise. He's been throwing for 300 yards and a couple tutties every week. And it looks like Jahmyr Gibbs is officially RB1 in Detroit. So, I don't know. Hayden's got a chance. Once again, he'd have to win out and get lucky with some tiebreakers to make the playoffs, but he could stay out of that last place. It could happen. Ish, you're still tied for first, but you wasted a Hawkinson generational game. You can't do that. Can't do that when you're fighting for that first-round bye. Tough to see. You need Jalen Hurts back. You need your boys back. Good win, Hayden. Speaking of just real bad teams, here's Kyle getting just his doors blown off by Cal. Kyle's in real trouble here. I mean, he got 32 out of Brandon Cooks and still just got washed. He needs Kelsey to be back, and not only be back, but be good. Macia's team is just in shambles, so I'm going to talk about Cal. Cal's tied for first place in this league, which makes me so angry, but Chris McCaffrey is just fantasy Jesus, and he never fails to get under 20 points. Didn't even get in the end zone this week, just 20 points, like clockwork, easy. Keenan Allen, I mean, yeah. Everyone in that Detroit Chargers game popped off. That was an absurd game. He's convinced that Taysom Hill is like the best tight end in the world, but we had to kind of explain to him that this is how Taysom Hill plays the game of football. He has like 3 good weeks a season, and otherwise they just don't use him. So he's got one more good week out of him, I will say. Just get ready for that, Cal. Hopefully it's in the playoffs for you. Yeah. And finally, the Devin Singletary trade. Midweek traded Deshaun Watson away for Singletary, and Singletary played his ass off. So, hands up. I'll give it to you, Cal. That was a great trade, great win, 2nd highest score this week. Well done. Way to get back on track with the win, Pushan. Pushan's boys got him back. There's not really anything Scott could have done here. I mean, he made the right starting choices. Tank Dell played great. Christian Kirk played fine. Even Najee played good. Even Latavius Murray got a touchdown. But, I mean, no, Giants defense was a really historically dumb start. But he was missing Kupp. He was missing Pacheco. He was missing Puka. Just if he had anyone else to plug into that flex, and if he hadn't been just the dumbest boy ever and started the Giants defense, he would have won this matchup. Pushan, you got lucky a little bit, but it's good to see that the new Raiders coach just is smart enough to know, hey, let's throw the ball to Devontae Adams. I wish Ron Rivera would realize that was Scary Terry, but whatever. Yeah, Scott shouldn't start the Giants defense. I made that mistake last week, but they were playing someone bad last week. You started them against Dallas. What are you doing? You don't deserve that win. Good job, Pusha. So yeah, here I am on the week. That's back-to-back 6-1 predictions for your boy. I'm up to 40-30 after being at 28-28. The only one I got wrong was picking against Briggs. Why? I know better. I know better than to do that. That was dumb. Whatever. Good win, Briggs. But yeah, I'll give a little bit more of a league overview in the predictions, which will be out on Thursday. Good luck.